This is the morning shift.
Shift Nation, very, very excited about this chat, and obviously to have one amazing friend. Matariki and Te Ao have joined us in studio, obviously to talk about Matariki. But just quickly, because it is State of Origin week, the game, when you listen to this, the game would have been last night. We won't talk anything other than we do have something to address. Matariki, sorry, we've got to do this, But Te Ao did help us with an amazing fundraiser where we raised $171,464 for our bro Mikey's cancer treatment over 24 hours. Te Ao, bro, you're a huge part of that, brother. In the afternoon when that happened, bringing energy and just seeing what was able to eventuate. And then we got to our goal, bro. We got to our goal of 500K. You helped with that. Your jersey was auctioned. What was the final price, Hendo? That ended up we raised? I think it was $3,000 or $4,000. But the amazing thing is the person who donated it, who bought it, said they want you to have it back. So yes, way. So here it is, brother.
Bro.
That's I think that's the most awesome full circle kind of moment. I thought we'd just start there real quick.
Oh, bro, this is so special.
100.
And like I said, man, I was like, I wasn't happy to part with it. But no, I just want to thank the person who sent it back, bro.
I'm sorry, just quickly, that person is Boutique Timeless Landscaping.
Shout out to Boutique Timeless Landscaping.
In Perth, bro.
Man.
They actually said, would you do a collab over there? No.
That's special, bro. And I just want to mihi to you fellas and Matua Mark especially for doing this 24
100%.
hours. Because what this, I guess, is a microcosm of is there's if you do good things, good things come back to you.
100%,
and what you fellas have done. Not just for Mikey, but the roll-on effect for everyone who was involved. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll tell you what that micro word is after, Brooke.
I also think what it's a sign of is no one wants that jersey.
We thought we'd just start there. But brothers, Matua, Te Ao, Maturangi, thank you so much for, I suppose our audience, some would know what Matariki is, a lot wouldn't. I think something bespoke to our country, our culture, is just awesome for us to hear about, to learn. And honestly, Matua Mark, myself and Brooke are huge fans of you fellas. So is I think a lot of the country, able to take and talk about our culture in a way that is fun, that is entertaining, that we can get and understand. So I suppose I'd like to start there. I feel like you guys get paid to talk about Matariki? Like, the kaupapa is you guys help us understand Matariki a bit more. So, what is Matariki, I guess, and where can we start, and how is that working out this year for our Shift Nation audience?
I think I'll start by saying that Matariki is spread right across the Pacific and Polynesia. It's actually found on every single island throughout Polynesia. And so our ancestors and our relations from across the different islands used it as a marker to tell them when the new year started and what they could expect for the impending season. When they left here and came here, they went from a season that is dry season and a wet season to here, which it's cold and colder. So they came to this really cold place, and they noticed here it rises in the morning in the shortest day, around the shortest day of the year in the middle of winter, and they know that's the marker of the new year. So they see that cluster of stars. I saw it this morning, even coming up to Auckland this morning. I saw it in the sky, and I know where it's positioned in the sky that we are in the period where we celebrate the new year. So in essence, it's a marker, but it's become not just a marker of new year, but a marker of culture and identity and connection. Because the three values and principles that underpin it are we celebrate and acknowledge our loved ones that we've lost. We celebrate who we are today, feasting and entertainment.
Absolutely.
And the last thing we do is we look to the future. And so that in a nutshell is what Matariki is, not just as a holiday, but the whole concept of Matariki.
Bro, sorry, can I
Yeah,
jump
no,
in
100%,
there
bro.
and say, yes, I do get paid, and if I didn't, I wouldn't be following this fella around.
He's overpaid. I just want to say that.
Did that invoice cover you being back from Origin? For I have to start. It's funny. We were talking last week. We said the date, and it was like halfway through the year, and there was this kind of conversation we were having between us, which was like, whew. It felt. I think Brooke literally said, "Bro, it's October to me. Feels like November to me." And it's kind of interesting, and I've kind of just had this thought as I've been listening, but it actually is the end for our. We are Māori, so we can attach to this concept and this ideology and these ideas. You know, we are probably feeling a little bit at the end of, and so this is a good time for us to reset. Is that what we can do here? You know?
Yeah, it is a reset.
Because I feel like that feeling is out there.
No, it's definitely. Our ancestors understood that when the environment begins to shut down, animals aren't moving, it's colder, you got longer nights and shorter days. It's a time where you actually sink into the rhythms of the environment. So when you're feeling that winter burnout, you know, you're tired, you get, you know, at times, because we're not meant to be moving around as much like we do in our modern society. We're meant to reset. And I just want to say that Te Aorere talks about this really well, and he put up a video about Matariki being a time to reset and check in. And I think of all the things that we've done together, that is the best video that he's actually put out in because it really sings, it just really speaks to the intention of the whole period.
Can you unpack that a little bit, Te with the chicken thing? Because that's something that for our audience we push out there a lot. But what was the point of that video and that message?
Yeah, I guess, you know, as in the modern world, bro, we have a lot of health models, especially with Māori. We have te wheke, we have te whare tapawha that looks at our mental health, our physical health, our social health, and our, how do you tuawha? Mental?
Family,
Oh, yeah.
social.
Oh, spiritual. Spiritual is the last. But following Rangi over the last 4 years, he's talked about Matariki, the central star of Matariki, who is the mother. She has 8 children. She's the mother of well-being who married the medicine man, I guess, or the god of hauora or of healing. And their 8 children and the whakapapa of their 8 children from eldest to youngest, the birth order, is a check-in for us. First is Pōhutukawa, who's associated with those who have passed on. And that to me talks about our emotional well-being. How are we moving into the new year and acknowledging those who we've lost in the past year? And also looking back to the past year, to not just those who've passed on, but the highs and lows, I guess. The next 4 stars are Tipuanuku, Tipuarangi, Waiti, and Waita, the 4 environments we live in, and the 4 environments we harvest food from. So I guess the environments we live in talks to our mental health, and the 4 different spaces we harvest foods from talks about our physical health. And then the next 2 stars are the weather stars, winds and rains, but also talks about there's some things in our lives that we can't control, bro. So how do we prepare? So we're responding when those things do happen as opposed to reacting. And, you know, we're seeing more and more extreme weather events. You know, floods that usually happen once every 100 years, happening almost every other year, bro. So how do we prepare for that?
Totally. And so to just quickly on that one point, we can think about it in a literal sense, and then obviously in an emotional and mental sense too, of the things we can't control.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we spoke to the Warriors this morning, and you can liken it to anything, bro. It's like we spoke to them in a rugby league sense. There are things on the field that you can't control, like, I know, mistakes or decisions or what your opposition is doing, but you can prepare as well as you can so when those things do happen, you're ready for it. And then the last, I guess, is the star of new life, which is the New Year's resolution star, which I guess the New Year's resolution in January, in the Pākehā calendar, talks about your individual goals and your individual hopes and dreams. Get a six-pack, this and that.
Western way of thinking can be.
But for us, it's collective. It's sitting down with your whānau, okay, moving into the new year, what do we want to achieve together? Sitting with your team, sitting with your community, any, I guess, collective space you're in to move forward, I guess, collectively into the new year.
That's beautiful. So just if I'm hearing this right, and for our audience listening now, for this year in Matariki, going through the whakapapa of, I forgot what you were just talking about, but taking a time to note our physical well-being, and I forgot the four parts you were talking to, bro, with the names. Taking a time to reflect on the things we can't control. What was the first one you talked about, bro, before the physical?
Those have passed on.
Reflecting on those who have passed on in the last year, but just in the past as well. And then obviously looking to into the new year, but also from a sense of a collective and your whānau, and those would be the good things to note during Matariki. Awesome. And is that every year? This is where I just want to clarify, because I'm understanding too. We're all understanding that.
No, you're right. That's every year. Every year those values and principles are the same. But we also try and get a theme for every year. Something that's connected to the host region. And this year we're Tāmaki. So we are here with Ngāti Whātua.
Nine always on time, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm so grateful for Ngāti Whātua. Now there's a whakatauki here, Tāmaki Herenga Waka, which talks about the waves of people that have come to this region and moored their canoes. So Herenga Waka means to tie your canoe up. And they have moored their canoes across generations, our ancestors, and then into more recent periods of people around the world have come here. We've taken that phrase and adapted it to be Matariki Herenga Waka, to say no matter where you're from in the world, there is a connection to that group of stars, and you have the ability to tie yourself and your family to those principles of celebration, of remembrance, and of looking to the future. So this year, Matariki Herenga Waka, and its translation is for everyone, because it is. It's those values at the basic fundamental aspects of the best parts of what it means to be human.
Wait, so yeah, to clarify that, we have a lot of audience that listen from different countries, America too, and we'll often hear in feedback, I don't understand it all the time, but I see Māori culture, I really can, like they feel like a sense that they can connect to. With what you just said here now, are you saying that, if they do like the whakaaro of today and they remember it and they can do their own thing, like they can actually connect with Matariki too?
If it can be as basic as just sitting down with your family and sharing time with them, that's Matariki.
Yeah.
Food is Matariki. Celebration, anything you do to celebrate, or is based on those three principles of remembrance, celebration, and looking to the future. That's Matariki, and it doesn't need to be, you don't need to have 100 tohunga in your cupboard, you pull out every year. It can just be getting together, because at the heart of it, at the heart of that cluster of stars that rises, and they each, Te Aorere talked about how they're different. They have different elements to them, but they rise as one whānau, as a cluster in the morning. And it's a call to us. That's what it's saying. You are all different here. We are all different individuals and cultural backgrounds, but we rise as one united people in that morning to celebrate who we are, and more importantly, I think, who we want to be.
Absolutely. I love that. Talbot, you guys have been doing, I want to say for a few years now, doing the Matariki stuff. It could be more. But what is this talking about Matariki, bro, and what are you learning from it in terms of like going around the motu, making this kind of more of a awesome concept that we're starting to have more buy-in into, and they have more visibility. Like what's been encouraging for you? that you're learning in this process?
I think the biggest takeaway and the biggest observation that I've made in the last couple years is, Rangi did the research and, revived, I guess, the hautapu ceremony and shared the kōrero that his graua left for him. And now people are taking on the kōrero and making it their own. Now families and hapu and iwi and communities are taking those principles of remembrance, celebrating the present and looking to the future and doing it their way. We went to Australia. The environment's different over there. There's heaps of Māori over there and they explained how they celebrate Matariki, and they just do it the way they want to do. And what we're seeing is Matariki is now taking a life of its own, and communities are making it their own. They're not just following the kōrero of Rangi. They're going back to their old pūrākau and their old stories and seeing, okay, this is what our ancestors used to do. We don't actually look to Matariki. We look to another star that's a little bit to the right, Puanga, and we look to that as the mark of the new year. So Rangi talked about everyone celebrating together and diversity and how that makes us rich, bro. We live in a world that was leading towards monoculture, monolingual, but now we're culturally diverse, and I think as a people and as a nation, it makes us stronger. So that's what I'm excited about, bro, is us not having to do a lot of the heavy lifting.
And it's not just here in Aotearoa. I mean, last year, Tahiti celebrated their inaugural Matariki holiday. So it became a public holiday there as well. So we're 5 years in here, and they've followed and it was...
And you guys have helped that too, eh?
We were part of that. And Te Aorere really, the holiday was, a lot of people have put time into the holiday and made it what it is. And I was so fortunate to be part of that process. But Te Aorere has shifted things to a different level. The way that he has the ability to connect to a mass population and make it relevant and important to them. And it's something that he's got a natural gift. And I'm praising him at the moment, which is not our usual communication.
No, it's real though. It's real.
But,
it's real,
I can honestly, hand on heart, being so involved in it, say it would not be as positive and successful nationally and internationally had it not been for Te Aorere coming in and giving it a lift and a lens and a connection that has filtered across the country and resonates across the Pacific. And expats around the world are celebrating Matariki in all parts, every continent. There's hautapu ceremony, and a lot of that has to do with Te Aorere.
I got to piggyback on that really quickly, 100%. And I know, bro, I know you will put that back to Maturangi as well. What I think is also so important is, and maybe this is a bit of a personal thing for me, but I find why what you guys are doing so important is because it's still heavy topics and important topics. It's not like it's watching some fireworks in the sky. These are big ideas, but they don't feel heavy. They feel like everyone can sit at the table here, and there's enough room. And sometimes it can feel, particularly with a political year, particularly with how, and I get it, I get it, but I think just the way in which you guys communicate, it doesn't make those who maybe didn't grow up with this assumed knowledge or this, our language and stuff, it makes us feel like, I know I can speak from that side. It makes me feel like, bro, that's a bit of me. I can get down with that. If I could be a little bit vulnerable here in terms of this Matariki, as you guys talked about, particularly where you want to go as a collective, like with your whānau, I just had this little thought in my head, and I suppose I'm giving this as an example for you guys to sign off a little bit. But if this Matariki, we got 4 boys in our home when all the whānau, from 13 right down to our youngest, which is 1, and so that has that's every day is a new adventure, and I kind of just had this thought in my head that at the moment, you know, it just feels like we're trying to get on top of washing, cleaning the house. And I kind of just had this thought of me sitting down the whānau and going, well, I know what this whānau looks like in success into what I think it should be, but maybe reflecting to the boys, like, what does a good week in the home look like for you? You know, what is something that I could do to make your week a bit more enjoyable here? And don't get me wrong, we have a good time. I'm not saying like I give them a hiding or anything. I don't give them a hiding, okay? But would that be an awesome kōrero to have during Matariki?
Connecting in and making time. And Matariki is about people and connecting to your people. You know, it's that's its essence is us checking in with each other. And, you know, you talked about politics and all of these other issues. Matariki transcends that.
Let's go.
Governments come and go. Politicians come and go. All of these issues come and go. But those stars will continue to rise every single year as a marker of unity. The fact that we are diverse, but let's celebrate our diversity because it's not a weakness, it's a strength. And in those moments, we stop, we reflect on the year, and we check in. And that doesn't have to be at a big public ceremony, but we just get around as a whānau and ask, how you been?
Yeah.
What's happening in your life? What have I missed? What do you need from me? This is what I need from you.
Yeah, totally.
But we don't do that because we're just on to the next thing and the next thing. And I think it is the reset, resetting where we are. And sometimes we also don't take enough time, I feel, to look back and celebrate the good things that we do. You know, so much of it is from a negative point of view, but, you know, let's celebrate all of those wonderful things, you know. And, you know, I see the things that you guys do for all of the listeners, but all of us as a nation. You guys are a great example of how this diversity, this different backgrounds, but you come together as a group and share and uplift others. No, that's something to be celebrated.
Awesome. Last thing, Te Ao, for you, what are you looking forward to reflecting on this Matariki?
Bro, what I guess one learning for me is like I don't really take time to celebrate.
100%, bro.
I'm like, that was cool. All right, on to the next. But every year I book flights, bro, and I go back to Tokomaru Bay and I turn my phone off and I go up, we do our hautapu, and then we sit at the top of our maunga and just be. And it's one of the very few moments I can sit and be, especially with my like how I am, bro. I don't.
We have to. We can get like that too. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
and
just go to the next thing.
and sometimes you forget how cool some of the things you've achieved in the year is. And I think one of the last lessons that I've learned this year, ko ruha nui tēnei tau.
Ruha nui tēnei tau.
The Matariki cycle is a 3-year cycle, bro. So in the first year, it rises high in the sky. And then in the second year, it's closer to the sun. And then in the third year, it's closer again. So what you do is you add a 13th month into your lunar calendar, which resets it. Because if you celebrate it the following year, it'll be too close to the sun and you can't see it. So it goes back, and we're in the 13th month now, which is Ruhanui, which translates to the great tiredness. So I guess for me, you mentioned it at the start of the kaupapa, bro, that everyone's exhausted, and our environment and our calendar is telling us it's a right to be exhausted. It's a right to be tired, and it's a right to rest at this time because this month is Ruhanui. And yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, bro, going back to Tokomaru Bay and resting and being.
100%. I love that. Because, you know, sometimes I'm glad you've given us permission to feel that because, you know, too many people cry and complain on the internet now where you wonder, like, should I just harden up or like... you know, so what I'm sensing is I'm actually okay. I can have a little, put my feet up for a little bit. Last one, Matsurangi, quickly, I just had this question pop up. Ideally, like, have we just got the time and months completely out? Like this Gregorian calendar or what, you know, all of that? Like, is it Is it
It's
messed up?
upside down. It's upside down. You know, over on the other side of the world,
I knew it.
they celebrate the New Year in winter, right? Because they know that's the shortest day of the year and the summer's coming back and the environment shuts down. See, us, we want to have our time off when the environment's at its peak. So we get in the summertime, we want a holiday when the environment is saying it's time to go. And when the environment shuts down in the winter, we want to play sports and have all of these conferences and do all of this work, thinking that's the heavy lift time. But if you sink into the environment, you're meant to actually follow the rhythms and cycles. And this is big downtime. It is time, hence the name Ruha Nui Pipiri, which is a month before, means to cling together with your significant other because it's cold. And however you cling together, I guess you can translate that in any way. But it's giving you hints. The environment is saying, because we're part of the environment. So we're meant to sink in. So, yeah, it is upside down. And
Is that correct? Because you're a doctor, so I know you've researched this. Is that, if you got the keys to the country tomorrow and you could actually reset things, what would you do? How would you have our calendar?
well, the first part of that question is Dr. Zeus is also a doctor. I might be speaking in riddles. But if it was me, I would have our school big break in winter. I wouldn't have our kids trying to go out and do all these activities where they get sick and where you're traveling in weather that's bad and inclement. And I would do more, and I would enjoy the harvest of the year. And where I'd be most busy is spring, where I'm planting and introducing new projects. Autumn, when I'm reviewing projects and harvesting. And the big work period is across that summer period where I'm active in the environment. That's when the birds sing longest. I'm more active when all of the creatures are out.
We're trying to lax, but really
we're at
probably
the
the
beach
best
reading a book.
idea.
Yeah.
Ooh, hey, we'll unpack that next year.
This is The Shift. The Shift.
Go home, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go home.
The Morning Shift.
I'm going to make him an offer again with you.
The Shift.
I love you.
This is The Shift.